With the weather heating up, homebuyer demand has also been on the rise, with sales activity up almost 10% relative to this time last year, and our sales to active listings ratio on the rise once again. So what exactly is happening in Vancouver's housing market? I'm Adina with Adina YVR Vancouver Real Estate Group and Oakland Realty, here with your July 2026 market update. Let's jump right into the numbers and take a look at what's happening. In the month of June, we had almost 2,400 homes sold on the MLS in Metro Vancouver. This is an increase of 11% relative to May. It's up almost 10% relative to this time last year, and it's just 12% below the 10-year sales average for the month of June. Looking at the different property types, we see that for detached homes, we had 747 sales. This is an increase of 14% relative to June last year. For attached townhomes and duplexes, we had 527 sales. This is an increase of 11% relative to this time last year. And for condo apartments, we had 1,103 home sales. This is an increase of 6% relative to June last year. While buyers were more active in the month of June, it was the opposite for home sellers. We saw just over 5,900 homes newly listed for sale on the MLS, and this is a decrease of 3% relative to May. It's down 6% relative to this time last year, and it's just 6% above the 10-year sales average for the month of June. This brought the total inventory levels in Metro Vancouver for the month of June to just over 17,000. This is an increase of just 1% relative to May, yet it's down 3% relative to this time last year. And this is 30% higher than the 10-year sales average for the month of June. So how is all of this impacting prices? If you recall, our leading indicator showing us if prices are on their way up or down is the sales to active listings ratio. And simply we're looking at the number of sales in a given month divided by the active listings left over at the end of that month. When this ratio is above 20% for a sustained period of time, we see upward pressure on prices. And when this ratio is below 12% for a sustained period of time, we see downward pressure on prices. And when it's between 12 to 20%, we're typically in balanced market territory. And with the increase in sales in the month of June, we actually saw the sales to active listings ratio increase from where it was in May and April. Back in May and April, it was about 13%, and now we're at 14.6%, which is actually the highest it's been all year, and it surpasses where we were in March at 14.2%. So it's remained in balanced market territory, but we seem to be in a stronger position than we were in March. Looking at this by property type, the ratio is currently 12% for detached homes, which is up from 10.7% in May. For attached townhomes and duplexes, it's almost 18%, which is up from 15% in May. And for condo apartments, it was 15.5%, which again is up from 14.2% in May. While it's too early to tell right now whether this is just a data point or it's a rebound in the market, it's going to be very interesting to watch what happens in the next few months. Looking at the HPI composite benchmark price for all property types, we finished off the month at $1,099,100. This is almost unchanged relative to May. It's down just 0.1%, and it's down 6% relative to this time last year. For detached homes, the HPI benchmark price was $1,842,900. This represents a decrease of 0.3% relative to May, and it's an increase of 7% relative to June last year. For attached townhomes and duplexes, the HPI benchmark price is $1,046,200. This represents a decrease of 0.2% relative to May, and it's down 5% relative to this time last year. And for condo apartments, the HPI composite benchmark price was $695,200. This represents a decrease of 0.4% relative to May, and it's a decrease of 7% relative to this time last year. With everything going on in the world, while our market activity does seem to be slower than historical averages, it does seem like we've started to find our new balance and our new normal. Typically, as we head into July and August, we do see activity cooling off as a lot of people focus on vacation plans and other activities. So it's going to be interesting to see what the summer has in store for our market and what's going to happen when we bounce back in the fall. But if you're thinking of making a move in the second half of the year, the summertime is a great time to start evaluating your options and start creating a strategy to get ahead of the market. If you're thinking of making a move this year and would like to start exploring your options, you can schedule a consultation with our team by clicking the link below here on YouTube or clicking the link in my bio on Instagram. And in the meantime, to stay up to date with what's happening in the market, be sure to hit subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on Instagram at adina.yvr. That's it for now. Have a great rest of the month, and I'll see you in August.